Welcome to the UPAVASA briefing. Some of you may have heard about UPAVASA before, some of you may not. Don't worry, we will let you know what it is and what is the benefit, why we do it, etc. Now, we're going to talk about what is UPAVASA. Many people ask us what is UPAVASA. Actually, we don't have a very good word. My lineage is here from China, so we call it Bigu. Bigu is a tradition that's actually in Buddhism, in Tcm, in Taoist, in many of the Chinese traditions, you have the same term. So we just call it Bigu. But in India, there is something similar towards the yogic tradition, they call Upabasa. Upabasa is a Sanskrit word. It's a Sanskrit word. It literally actually means a constraint of desire through food or something. If you literally translate what the actual meaning of that is. If we tell Bigu, many people don't understand. What is that? What is that? So English word you call fasting is not pure fasting because there is a therapeutic element to it. There are many things within the same program. So we call it fasting therapy. Also not exactly correct. So I thought very long and hard. And then we decided to call it Upavasa because that is probably the best in terms of not trying to dilute its meaning by keeping the original word. And you go elsewhere, maybe they call it different names. They may call it fasting therapy, maybe they call it Bigu, maybe they call it 断食, maybe they call it whatever. It's essentially the same thing, although there are many different traditions. We're going to talk about different ways, different traditions. My lineage is mainly come from Tcm. So we use most of these things actually from Tcm, and I have already combined some with the yogic tradition as well. It is not a recent invention, but it is an ancient method of natural therapy based on fasting for self-healing. Many, many years ago, thousands of years ago, the Asian people, including the Indian and the Chinese, these are the two oldest civilizations in the world, right? They are also the Babylon or whatever, but in terms of Asia, these are the two oldest traditions. And they already found out that through fasting, it can activate our life force to heal ourselves. This is also being observed in animal world. If you go to animal world like cats and dogs, when they become sick, especially those strays, when they become sick, they don't eat. They maybe smell and find some herbs, whatever, but they generally don't eat. And then after a while, they heal themselves. This is self-healing process of our own body. You are born with it. You have this power. Everyone has this power. So whatever medicine that we eat, whether you believe in Chinese medicine or Western medicine, whatever medicine that you eat is only helping you to heal yourself. The healing itself comes from you. Like if you eat Panadol, it only suppresses a symptom. If you want to heal, you still need to heal yourself. Right? So you have a cold, when the doctor gives you some cold medicine, it only suppresses a symptom. You don't have blocked nose anymore, you don't have runny nose, you don't feel the fever. But who is healing you? You are healing you. You need to heal yourself. And this is what it is about. There is a method, not from me, from our ancestors many, many years ago. They passed down and say, this is how you activate your own life force to heal yourself. So this is fasting for self-healing. Of course, there are people who go beyond that. There are people who are very spiritual. They use this as a spiritual practice because in human world, we have got two strongest desire that is the hardest to conquer. Desire for food, desire for sex. These are the two strongest desires that is hardest to break. So the spiritual practice is to conquer your own mind by conquering your own desire for food. So that's why it is also being used as one of the spiritual practice. Of course, here we focus on the first one. We're focused on natural therapy. That's what we are doing. Okay? Now, I want to introduce to you different methods of fasting. I'm not going to list down all of them because there are plenty. At least we know of about a dozen different methods, but we can actually categorize them into the Asian tradition and the Western tradition. The Asian tradition would include the yogic, the TCM, the Taoist, the Buddhist, and even the Confucianist. So there are many different traditions in Asia that we use, and there are also Western inventions. The Western invention, I call them invention because they only existed probably since last 20, 30 years. Whereas the Asian tradition has been in existence at least 1,000 years. So I call the Western one, although it has been quite old, 20, 30 years, but we call them invention. The key difference is in the Asian tradition, it's about self-healing, it's about therapy. We have dietary control to help with the therapy because you need to fast in order to self-heal. The precondition is to start fasting to activate your life force. So there must be an element about dietary control. And because of that, there is a side effect of weight loss. There is a side effect of weight loss. But the core is healing. The core is healing. So if you look across all the Asian traditions, generally there are three elements that are common, irrespective of what tradition you use. Although here we mainly focus on TCM, but the core element here is one, there is a dietary control element. There is what we call sadhana. Sadhana means practice. You need to practice some form of exercise to help you. In our TCM here, we actually use Qigong. We use Qigong. That actually is to help you to unblock the energy channel in the body and to activate the different functions of the body to heal yourself. So the sadhana is an important element of the program. And then there is also the therapeutics. The therapeutics actually observe more, actually both in the TCM and also in the yogic world. In the yogic world, people use yoga to heal themselves as well, right? There are a lot of therapy in yoga. I think most of you practice yoga, so you may already know that. Of course, in TCM, you have 针灸啦, you have 推拿啦, you have medicine, you use the herbs, you have many ways that Chinese also use as therapy to support this program, to support the self-healing. So there is always these three components in all of the Asian traditions that we are observing. When we call these traditions, it's more than 1,000 years old. When you look at Western inventions, usually the focus is about weight loss. And mostly it's about fruits and vegetables. Some form of fruits and vegetables, some form of combination. There are many science, so-called science behind this. Some of them they say, okay, 7 days, day 1, day 2, day 3, drink different things and then cleanse out different things. The focus is about weight loss and seldom they have sadhana or therapeutics. So there is a big distinction. That's why the ancient wisdom is something that we modern people are not aware. And my job is to make this being aware to more and more people. And it actually doesn't cost you a lot because once you learn the techniques, anyone can practice at home. Anyone can practice at home. There's no reason why you can't, okay? In our program, there are 6 pillars. That means there are 6 different aspects that we focus on. The first one is diet. Of course, diet is important in order to activate your life force. We start going in through diet. And that is the easiest way to access your life force. We also have sadhana. Most of this actually relate to breathing and qigong. We occasionally, in the past, we have basic program for Upavasa, usually 7 days. And then we have the intermediate program, which is 10 days. And then we have the advanced program, which is 14 to 21 days. So in the 14 and 21 days, we usually have mindfulness. That is actually part of the practice. But in the basic program, we don't have the mindfulness element. Here, we are doing the basic program. There's also the cleansing element. We use a Nadi Shodhana, which is a yogic method to cleanse out the energy channel in your body. So if you have any blockages in your body through this sort of exercise, what Mariam was talking about just now was mainly the Nadi Shodhana. It actually helps her to cleanse out some of the toxins in the body. Neti Kriya, which is cleansing of the nose. The cleansing of the nose is good for people if you have, when you wake up in the morning, you have a lot of sinuses. That's actually very good because it cleanses out not just the nose, actually the frontal lobe, the frontal lobe here. So it actually helps you to clean out all these things, all these dirty things in your body. And this is actually a very effective one. You know, in Malaysia, we have the forest fire from Indonesia. During that period, a lot of people get affected. So during that period, Neti Kriya is also very good. You can also do that. Here, we also try to introduce to people how you can do that. Last but not least is the colon cleansing. And this is the one that Marian said, the enigma. Some people call it enigma, we call them the colon cleansing. Colon cleansing during Upavasa and the normal cleansing, colon cleansing without going into Upavasa mode is different. Why that is different? Because when we started our life force already, when your body is already self-healing, it is by itself is already trying to push out toxins in your body. So the effect is so much greater than when you are not doing Upavasa. When you are not doing Upavasa, colon cleansing is also very good, but it's actually cleansing out very superficial. You know, our intestine, they have a lot of things stuck in between, stuck on the wall, and they don't come out so easy. It's just like if you have a glass of milk, let's say I put a glass of milk, I pour the milk away, and then there's still a lot of things on the wall, yeah? When it's still fresh, you put some water, okay. Your intestine is there for 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years already. Now you put water in there and it's very difficult. Yeah. Upavasa is like your own body is trying to scrape this out to become loose. When you do the colon cleansing, it flush out so much easier. So much easier. So colon cleansing during Upavasa and normal colon cleansing, there are beauty shops that actually do colon cleansing, you know. There are many places, even cleaning also do that. When you do that, it's good. It's just like the milk. If it's fresh, you can clean very well. When it's not fresh, sorry lah, there are still things inside that you cannot cleanse out. We also have the restoration. The restoration mainly is you have any special body condition, we will help you. We call them the minor ailments. Minor ailments means maybe you have shoulder pain, maybe you have back pain, maybe you have knee pain, etc. Most of these actually through the yogic tradition, we help you to recover. Because when your body is already self-healing, this is the best opportune time for your body to heal itself. So we're actually doing this therapy to speed up the process, to accelerate the process. Digestive system, there are people who ask me, okay, I have gastric problem, so I should not be fasting. But in fact, when you have digestive problem, you have got stomach problem, you have got gastric, the best way to heal yourself is Upavasa. Of course, you need to know the way, the method to do. First, you cannot go full fasting at one go because we are all animals of habit. When you're animals of habit, when it is time, your body will excrete endocrine. We call them endocrine, like your gastric acid, your bile, your enzyme, all of these things it will excrete because when it is time, this is your biological clock. Now, when we want to stop that, if you have got gastric problem, when it's time, the gastric acid will come out. And you just go for full fasting, you're going to hurt yourself more than anything. So you will not be able to fast. So what this program is teaching you is how to retract this endocrine from coming out. So we use what we call calming food. Don't ask me what is calming food. This is passed down from our ancestors. They told us if you eat only this kind of food, your your life force will activate. It will not disturb your other functions. So you can only eat calming food. When you start eating calming food and you start to reduce the intake of calming food, your endocrine will retract. That means that you no longer will excrete gastric acid, excrete bile, etc. So that will help you, that protect you from having any problem when you are fasting. Okay, so that is the way that we do, and you can actually help to repair your own digestive system. Because when you are not eating anymore, when your body can take a rest, and when your self-healing process is already activated, it will heal itself. But one thing, don't get misconception. You say, oh, the problem let's say you have multiple problems. I've got shoulder pain, I've got gastric problem. Many people have multiple problems. I also have insomnia, let's say. And then you say, okay, the one thing that I really want is insomnia. You have to cure my insomnia. Sorry, your body has much more wisdom than you. The body will choose whatever it will prioritize. It think what is the most serious, it will start with that one, and not necessarily the one that you want. Okay? So, like Marian didn't mention, she also had fatty acids, fatty liver, because she was going overweight. So it's not surprising she had fatty liver. Actually, she wanted to cure her diabetes. But actually, her fatty liver became normal the first time. So the body knows best. So you cannot choose. So you have to wait for the body to heal. Okay, that's the fourth aspect of the program. The fifth aspect is we introduce the TCM. Of course, the diet itself comes from TCM principles. But other than that, we also have moxibustion. Some of you may or may not have. It's also a kind of therapy. We also, more importantly, is we will introduce to you how you can live a Tcm lifestyle. According to the Chinese ancestors, there is a way to eat, there's a way to live, and that's what we call the Tcm lifestyle. And that is actually, the essence of that is to live in accordance with the rhythm of the universe. So you're not going against the rhythm of the universe. For example, when the sun goes down, should you be working or should you be sleeping? Of course you should be sleeping. That is TCM. So you live according to the clock of the universe and not to your own wish. So that is what TCM diet is about, and that's the wellness talk. We told you what is good for you, what is not good for you, according to TCM principles. Of course, we are not trying to brainwash anyone. If you believe, at the end of the day, this is my advice to anyone who wants to make a change in their life. You don't have to believe in TCM. You don't. Really. All I'm asking is you have open mind, you test it on your body. See if any change in your body. Give it some time, not just like, oh, one day, that's it. But give it some time, maybe like a month or so. You try to live according to that. See if any change in your body. If you feel your body is better, it works. If you don't feel that, forget about it. Then you will go on with your life. That's all. Last but not least, the program is not complete if you don't tell you what to do after the program. Many people go into a certain weight loss program. At the end of the day, they will all rebound. Yeah? It's no good. It's no good for anyone. So we also tell you what is Golden Week. Golden Week is the transition period before you go into normal. So that transition period is important for your body to relearn a lot of things to go into a normal lifestyle. So you need to learn how to do your Golden Week and then what your regular diet should be. You see, your body is not, how do you say? You have your body, it's not because of 1 or 2 days. It's after 20, 30, 40, 50 years now, right? And once we actually take out, let's say you want to lose weight. Let's say you lost a good amount of weight and you're happy about it. If you repeat the same habit in terms of your diet and you wish you will be able to maintain that weight, sorry, it's not going to happen. Have you heard the saying that what is insanity? How do people define insanity? People define insanity as doing the same thing every single day, day in and day out, and expect a different result. That is insanity. You understand what I mean? You understand what I'm trying to tell you? If you want to change, if you want your health to change, there must be a change. If you keep your own diet previously, you will still come to this point sooner or later because it's insanity. You are doing the same thing, you expect a different result. You understand what I mean? So there needs to be a change in you. You have to make the change. Now, why do we do Upavasa? I don't need to give you a lot of reasons. I just give you some ideas about what this will bring you. First, there are people who look into body image. They want weight loss, weight gain. Surprisingly, there are people who don't know that Upavasa can also help with people who wants to gain weight. There are people who are overly thin. They are too thin for their own health. It's because the digestive system it's not functioning well because they cannot absorb nutrients. And Upavasa can also help them to heal their own digestive system, and ultimately they can also gain weight. It's not about only weight loss. But for people who want to gain weight, they may still lose weight before they gain. Because of the diet, because the activation of the life force, they need to go into diet. So they may still lose some weight before they will gain. Illnesses, if you have pain, like Marianne have this problem with diabetes. We also have a Chinese participant before. She had gallstone and also have polyps in the gallbladder. To the extent that the doctor also want to cut away the gall. But she didn't want to. So she did 3 times. And when she did her medical checkup, no more. It detected no more. So if you have illnesses, etc., we don't guarantee because, like I said before, it's your own life force that is healing you. We cannot guarantee your life force. Your life force is yours. How you abuse that, you have to take responsibility, not us. We will not guarantee the result, but it's up to you how you want to do it. Here, I want to emphasize a little bit. We have seen so many students going in and out, in and out. We have seen people who have very good result. We also have seen people without much result. What is the difference? Why is that? Why is that? Later, we're going to talk a little bit about how strong your life force might be. But there is an element that is within your own control, which is your own determination. If you go into a program half-hearted, you only get half-hearted result. Just as simple as that. So if you decide to give yourself, invest in your own health for 7 days, you should go wholeheartedly. Otherwise, you might as well not join. I'm serious. If you just go half-hearted, at the end of the day, you may not get much out of it because you're only half-hearted in the program. So if you want to go in a program, you need to have the determination, you need to have the right mindset, you need to clear your schedule. You know, clear your schedule, give yourself this time. What is 7 days in your lifetime? Marianne took 4 times. She took only basic program. She didn't even go to our advanced program because I never conducted any more advanced program in Malaysia because Malaysians have no patience. 7 days already very difficult. Don't talk about 10 days, 14 days, 21 days. Malaysians very, very impatient. So we only have basic program. She got 4 basic program and she cured her diabetes. 4 times 7 is 28 days in your life for a normal life. That is what you're investing. So it is up to you to choose. You have to make the change. You have to have the realization, not me. We are here only to give you the method. We are not here to support you. Detox, we already talked about that. We have different ways to detox the body. We will teach you that. The mind, those who have already joined before, you may actually have this experience. Your mind becomes calm. Your mind becomes calm when you're fasting. Do you know that our body needs a lot of energy for digestive system? There are three things that we use most of our energy in daily life, in a normal daily life. The first thing is to regulate your body heat. That takes a lot of energy. Yes? The two is for your own self-defense. In order for us to protect ourselves from being attacked by bacteria, by germs, when you go around, etc., you need to have a natural defense system. Okay? This natural defense system also takes a lot of energy. The other 1/3 of that is your digestive system. We eat 3 meals a day, normal people. We eat 3 meals a day. Out of these 3 meals a day, it takes a lot of your energy. Now, when you don't have to eat 3 meals a day, you save so much energy there. What is going to do? A lot of this energy can be used to heal yourself. When your digestive system needs a lot of energy, the blood flow, everything go down. Yeah? And then you feel sleepy. Your mind becomes clouded. When you don't have that, there's a lot more energy that goes to the brain. The brain becomes a lot clearer. Your memory power improves. There are many benefits even for the mind. This is how a lot of the spiritual practice, why they use Upavasa to do their own spiritual practice. Because the mind becomes so much clearer. The mind becomes much more stable. It's much more easier because you have so much more excess energy to control your own emotion. And that is where the spiritual practice comes in. Of course, you don't have to do spiritual practice. Some people don't like. They say, "Oh, too boring, a teacher. I don't want to sit down and do nothing." So that's too boring. But that's okay. But don't worry. We only have it in the more advanced program that we have mindfulness and that sort of exercise. Basic program we don't have. So you don't have to worry. You just sit down and do nothing. Beauty. When your body is healing yourself, of course, it will heal your skin complexion. It will heal all of these things. You will become better. I don't need to tell you. You will experience it yourself. There are people who come here just for general wellness. There are people who make it a habit. They will detox once a year. So every year, they give themselves 7 days. They come here because even after the Upavasa program, nobody can stop all toxins from consuming toxins at all. It's not possible. I tell you, even now, do you know that most of the salt that you can buy in supermarket these days, they are chemically compounded, not natural. Unless you go to organic shop or whatever, then you can buy the natural salt. So just imagine in our world these days, salt, you can't get natural ingredient. Just see how many toxins do we consume every day. So it's not possible for us to avoid. So there are people who are into wellness. They normally do this kind of program once a year just to cleanse out, just to maintain. These are some of the substandard health conditions. If you do have any of this, then probably Upavasa is something that you can benefit from. If you are overweight, underweight, if you have allergy, allergy is also a form of deficiency in your self-defense system. So some people actually heal themselves through this. I have a lot of skin allergies before I started Upavasa. Now I still have occasionally, but I don't have a lot of skin allergies anymore. Constipation, diarrhea, even tend to constipate quite a lot, especially women. I don't know why, but I observe a lot of women have constipation problem. Men less so. Men have more diarrhea problem. It's very funny. This you just observe. So whatever that is, high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high blood fat. High blood fat is there are 3 types of fat in our body. Don't get me, I may not know the correct terms. One, I think it's called the subdermal fat or something. Is the if you eat the siu yok, you see the fat that you can see. It's actually subdermal, just beneath your skin. Okay, that's the one type of fat. Second type of fat is visceral fat. That means it's in your organ. Like fatty liver and all of things. Not only the liver can have that, but the most common one is fatty liver. Then the last one is you have fat lipids. They call it lipids, I think. The small little things in your blood. So if you have got high blood fat content, then it is time for you to cleanse out. If you experience a menstrual pain, that can also help you. If you have a lot of hormonal imbalance, especially premenopausal, when you are going into premenopausal, your hormone becomes imbalanced. Indigestion, if you normally have indigestion, you have a gastric problem, you have gout. All of these are caused by a lot of toxins in our body. And when you cleanse out the toxins out of your body, usually it will just heal by itself. The third section is I want to introduce to you what we call the adverse reaction. People say, oh, wow, very good. This program very good. Is there any downside to it? The downside is, as your body heals yourself, you will experience adverse reaction. It is the result of the body healing itself. It's trying to push out things that are not supposed to in your body. And as a result of that, you will experience reactions. And some people are more serious than others. Actually, surprisingly, Marian didn't experience too serious adverse reaction. I had one student before who had insomnia, have had sleeping pills for 15 years in his life. His adverse reaction is one of the worst. He has headache throughout the whole time. He can't sleep for almost 7 days. And then I say, if you can, don't take any painkillers. If you can get through it, don't take. I gave him some breathing exercise to ease the pain, but the pain is still there. If you can get through, then your body is healing yourself. So after the program, he did twice. After 2 times, he said he no longer needs sleeping pills to sleep anymore. He can just sleep normally. So there are people who have very strong adverse reaction. It differs from individual to individual. We need to understand what is the physiological change in your body when we go through Upavasa. There are generally 3 main stages. They are not mutually exclusive. They overlap with each other. So these are the general 3 stages. One is we call activate. Then it goes into repair, and then goes into restore. There's a slight difference between repair and restore. I will talk a little bit about that. Activate is we activate our life force. How do you make that spark? Ask your life force to start. That one is when your body goes into fasting mode. Okay? When your body goes into fasting mode. There is a caveat here. When you go into a fasting mode, by itself, it may not help you. Our mind and body are interconnected. If your body is calm, your mind is not calm, it doesn't help you. I had one student before, he went through the program, he lost weight, not much, some. You see some effect, but he didn't see much change in his body. He doesn't see much after the program. I was actually it's very puzzling and see why that is the case. And then after the program, at one time when I'm talking to him, I want to understand a little bit more about his situation because he had other problems. He also had fatty liver, blah, 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 blah. He was here not only for weight loss, he also wanted to lose some weight, but also want to heal himself. So I was actually a bit puzzled. As I go deeper and deeper into conversation, then I realized the problem lies with his job. He's what you call a trader. You know what a trader does? Stock market. His mind is always during the day, because this one only weekend you will be here. During the day you also do something else, right? You go to work and you come here. His mind is always like this. He was a stock trader. So your mind can affect your life force from coming out. That later, actually, I realized that was the problem. Then the body starts to detox. We call the repair. When it starts to detox, that means that the body needs to be able to push out your fat, your toxins, whatever, whatever. If you eat a lot of medication, you may have steroids in your body, you may have a lot of chemicals in your body, whatever that is, it is trying to push out. The process of pushing this out into your outside of your body, the reaction may manifest. Just imagine you have no other avenue of taking out your toxin except to go berak, to go to the toilet. Then your adverse reaction will be diarrhea. You will have diarrhea. This is the reaction. So many people have different kinds of reaction as you repair your body. All you can do is to allow the life force to function. And you have to suffer the adverse reaction. I'm not going to scare everyone. I'm just preparing you mentally. Preparing you mentally. Some people whiz through. So not everyone has very serious adverse reaction. But I need to actually manage your expectation. Last but not least, after you've gone through the repair process, the body starts to we call the restore itself. This is where the the cells start to renew. You actually build new cells in your body. This is the part that you feel light. This is when suddenly everything, the worst is over. You feel peace, calm, light. Your body feels very, very nice. You can enjoy. This is when the body starts to restore itself. The body becomes light. There's a renewal of cells. The effect will slowly deteriorate, but it lasts about 1 month. So if you take opportunity of that, your body starts doing that, and you continue to watch your diet, you continue to do the right thing, your body still will change during that 1 month after the UPAVASA program. There are many students, quite a number of students, who experience biggest change after the program rather than during the program. There are people who actually experience more after the program. In order for you to activate your life force, we talk about the body and the mind. But there is also the lifestyle. Lifestyle actually related to both your mind and your food. So your lifestyle, if you still don't go to sleep at night, so you actually go into midnight and you're still burning the midnight oil, it's still going to disturb your life force. So in order for this to work optimally, you need to watch the diet, which we're going to teach you what to do. You need to make sure your mind is more or less calm. One of the tricks, one of the advice that I give to a lot of mothers, because mothers with young children, usually they go crazy with their children at home. So the advice I give them is, you record down their wrongdoing, you only punish them after. You say, okay, children, listen, I'm going to UPAVASA for 7 days. Whatever wrongdoing, you don't suffer the consequence until after. So I'm not going to yell at you, but you still have consequence after. So you write down. They didn't do this and do that, write down. Don't get angry. Don't get angry, but you can have your revenge after. Okay? So mothers with young children, this is what you can do. Now, this is why you experience adverse reaction. First, when your life force is activated, it will break down your old cells and even some of the cells that has mutated. You know, cancerous cells are basically your own cells that are mutated. So these are the causes of some of our illnesses. So when your life force starts to work, it will want to push out this. So you're actually trying to get rid of the dead cells, the suboptimal cells, and all the mutated cells. When they actually decompose all of these cells, it needs to go through a distribution system, which is whether it's usually the blood circulation or your lymphatic system. So we use our lymphatic system and the blood circulation trying to distribute. Then finally, it will excrete out of the body. It can be through perspiration, your sweat, through breathing, also through your breath, respiration, urination, defecation, vomiting, diarrhea. So all of this is your life force working. That's why you will have some of the adverse reaction. This is the reason for adverse reaction. These are the common adverse reactions. You can have hiccups, you may feel cold, you may have bad breath, you may be coughing, you may have headache, insomnia. Insomnia is when your life force is keep working even when you're sleeping, so you can't sleep. Some people what is the opposite of insomnia? That you sleep until you don't get enough sleep one. There are people like that as well. There's also one of the reaction. So they feel tired all the time. When you feel tired all the time, that means your life force is not strong enough. You need to find a way to replenish your energy. You can have irregular urine and feces. Some of urine becomes very dark color. Feces is usually when you are excreting your stool. Your stool comes in many different forms and shapes. We will go through that during the weekend. I will tell you what are the different forms and substance of your stool. Diarrhea, muscle pain, joint pain. When you have, let's say you have a frozen shoulder, etc. If the body is trying to fix you, you may feel more pain. It's trying to fix you. It's trying to fix you. And even when, let's say I fell down and you think you have to recover, but this is an old wound. And although now you don't feel pain, suddenly it feels pain during that process. It's because it may not be fully healed. It's trying to heal you. You will feel that pain again. So you may feel pain, joint pain, muscle pain, anything. You may vomit, you may fart more than normal. Fart is normal, but you may be farting more than normal. You may have thick tongue coating. This is actually body trying to detox as well. So your tongue becomes very thick coating. No problem, you just scrape it off, that's fine. Vertigo, some people get spinning. Skin rashes. Skin rashes is usually related to your lung problems, usually. So when the lung problems, when you're trying to take out the toxin, it will manifest in your skin. Fever, you may have fever. It's just like when your body is fighting against germs or virus, you have fever. Same thing, when it's actually trying to heal yourself, you can have fever. Drowsiness also can. So these are the common reactions. Okay. Now, adverse reactions can differ from person to person. Even if, let's say, I'm diabetic, you are diabetic, we may not have the same symptom, because the way that I have abused my body for the last 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 years is different from the way that you abuse. So that's why it will manifest in different way. So no two bodies are identical. Even you have the same disease, or even you have the same illness, it may not be exactly the same. And also the timing also different. It may actually start, some people start from day one, very fast. Some people, even after you start taking food already, then only they manifest. There are many reasons for that. We can go into that if you want. For example, some people, their life force is very weak. So only until they start taking food again, they have enough energy, then they actually start to manifest. Because all the while, even though they're starting to repair, the energy is not enough. But one thing you should know is, although these reactions may be uncomfortable for you, some may even very painful, it is definitely a good sign that our body is detoxing and recovering. You just have to go through. This is only during your repair stage. Once you get through that, it's like the heaven. After you've gone through that, it's heaven. You have to go through hell before you go to heaven. Okay, now we need to talk about how strong our life force is. This is where we cannot guarantee. How strong your life force is, there are two main factors. One is your body, one is your energy. When we talk about the body, we mean the physical self. The physical self, and then the energy. Now, the first thing about your body is you have a congenital factor. We call the congenital factor. That means whatever your mother gives you. Your mother gave you a strong life force, you have a strong life force. Full stop. If your mother gave you a weak life force, you have a weak life force. Full stop. That's it. Sorry. Nothing can be changed. Okay? Nothing can be changed. There is also pre-existing condition up until now. Until you take this course, you have some pre-existing condition. You may be obese. You may have energy blockage. You may have, in Tcm, we call your body may have cold property, you have a damp property. You have all of these things, whatever that is. You have pre-existing, you may be diabetic, you may be have asthma, you may have other things, whatever, there is a pre-existing condition. This will deteriorate your life force. Okay? Usually, whatever body that you come in, before you start the program, these are uncontrolled because it has already happened. It has already happened. That determines how strong your life force is now. Okay? Energy. Energy has two sides of the same coin. One, what is the source of your energy? What are the uses of your energy? Whether you have enough. If you use more energy than you have, you are very weak. If you have more energy than you use, you are very strong. You need to have excess energy to repair yourself. So we'll talk a little bit in the next slide about sources and uses of energy. But to a certain extent, not to the full extent, to a certain extent, you can control how strong your energy will be. Because if you're very weak, your energy is very weak, what you can do, what can you do? Yes, you don't overexert. You reduce the activity you have to do. So don't go and run marathon during this time. If you're going to run marathon during this time, you say your life force doesn't work, don't tell me. Your sources and uses of energy. Don't burn the midnight oil. If you burn your midnight oil, of course you don't have enough energy, right? So to a certain extent, it is controllable. You have the deciding factor how strong your energy will be. Okay? That is why I need to make you aware of the sources and the uses of energy so you know what you should be conserving your energy for. Now, our sources of energy mainly come from three main sources. First one is what we call calming food. This comes from the diet. We will tell you what you can eat, what you cannot eat. Whatever you can eat, we call them the calming food. Calming means it doesn't disturb your life force. Non-calming food means it will disturb your life force, your life force doesn't get activated. So we have calming food. Food gives you energy. So we can take some food. When you're very, very low in energy, it is allowed for you to take food for as long as they are calming food. So it doesn't mean, for people who want to lose weight, doesn't mean the less that you eat, the better the effect will be. It's about your sources and your uses of energy. Let me tell you in another way. If your body is very weak, our body is very smart. If you find a way to conserve energy so that you are still balanced in terms of energy. So one of the things that it will stop is what? Your life force. It will stop your life force. It will lower your metabolism. So if you want to lose weight, it doesn't lose. That is why people goes into pure fasting to lose weight. The effect is usually suboptimal. And also is usually very easily bounced back. So you cannot go for pure fasting to lose weight. That is not a very wise thing to do. Breathing means the air. Some people don't realize air actually has energy. We have breathing exercises that actually helps you to replenish your energy. That's why when you are experiencing adverse reactions, etc., you can do some breathing exercise. There is also another source of energy. It actually comes from your internal source. What are your internal source? You have an internal source, which is your fat. Yes? Which is your muscle, which is your blood. These are the sources. It's like petrol. You have petrol in your body. That petrol is your fat, your muscle, all of these things. Your body can convert those into energy. Generally, we have got three different main ways of using our energy. One is your daily activity. If you need to go to work, you go to work. If you need to take care of your children, you take care of children. This is a daily activity. Of course, you have to use energy. You also have your own self-defense and immunity. In order to defend yourself against germs, against virus, you use energy. Your body heat regulation, you regulate a body heat, you also need energy. So in order for us to avoid using too much energy, you need to avoid strenuous exercise and late nights in order to conserve your energy. 7 days, you can reduce all the strenuous exercise because you don't eat food anymore. You don't eat normal food anymore. So you need to conserve, okay? And your sources of energy, we practice breathing exercise, we practice our sadhana exercise to replenish the energy as well. There is a pyramid. These are the things in your body that the body can convert the main coming into food you eat, like your normal they can convert into energy. And then in between, this is actually for two main reasons. Your brain, your bone hunger, and mental your body can use this raw if you have physical hunger after your main meal, after you've eaten the main coming and this food, one we call them you the still feel physically hungry. You can use storage is because they are lower grade and when you feel when your mind wants to eat, petrol, not your stomach. You can also munch what a little bit the crude oil. There are different processes that you can physiological use to manufacture different grades. So this is actually to combat physical hunger. The highest and grade, what is it being used for? Aeroplane. The lowest grade, what is it being used for? Even below diesel is a lot of the plastics actually come from there. Yeah. So this is the one that you want to get rid of. Yes, body fat. Now, the body fat is the lowest grade. That means that the body, every unit of this, it can only give you very small amount of energy. Every unit of this can give you a large quantity of energy. So when your body is energy deficient, which one is going to use? If you are very deficient, it will go up. If you are only marginally, it will burn this. You understand? So that's why you need to try and conserve your energy so that your body keeps burning fat. If you are hugely in deficit, the worst that you can happen is even your bone marrow, your brain cells, it will convert. That's the worst case scenario. Now, we all need muscle. Everyone knows muscle is important, right? I don't need to tell you. Muscle is important to stabilize your own body structure. And also muscle is also a form of metabolism. So if you want to stay fit and healthy, you need muscle. So ideally, we also don't want to burn muscle, but it's not possible. We only want to burn in proportion more of body fat than muscle. If you are not able to conserve your energy well, you will realize that you're actually burning more muscle than your in proportion. In proportion, you will be burning more muscle than your body fat. Ideally, we only burn the bottom two. You won't even go up. Because as you go up, it actually do you more harm than good. That's why fasting, if you don't know the method, it can do more harm than good. Now, that's why this is one precaution for everyone, especially those people who have not gone through menopause. If you are menstruating, you are already losing blood. So we will advise you not to go for full fasting. So you need some calming food to replenish your energy. You're already deficient in your fuel. So for women who are in your menstruation during Upabasa, one thing I also need to clarify is that your menstrual cycle can be disturbed during Upabasa. Because there are many reasons. I just give you examples. There are many reasons. If your energy is not strong enough, because when you going through your menstrual cycle, it takes a lot of energy. One scenario is that your body is not strong enough. So when it's time for you to menstruate, it doesn't. So it will be delayed. Okay? So the body knows best. It will start to use the energy to repair something else before it allows you to menstruate. So it will disturb your menstrual cycle. This is one of the ways. There's also another scenario that you may have more toxins in your blood. One of the ways that's most direct, women are better than men. We don't have this avenue of detoxing, but women do. Especially when you have problem with your female organ. You've got uterus problem, you have problem with your menstrual cycle, you have menstrual cramp or whatever. Then your menstruation may come even before its time. So it's actually trying to expel out. So your menstrual cycle can be disturbed during this time. You don't have to worry. Usually it will not disturb you more than 3 cycles. From your Upavasa onwards, 3 cycles, if it's irregular, you don't worry. When more than 3 cycles, you still have experienced irregular menstruation cycle, you need to see a doctor. Okay? So that is why there's also the reason, menstruation ladies, when you, whatever reason, you start menstruating during Upavasa, you take some food, calming food. You take some food to replenish your energy. Last but not least, before we go into dietary program, you need to know some of the people we do not advise. We didn't say who must not. We only say who may not. These are the people that we believe your life force is too weak, so we may not be able to help you. People who have insulin more than 5 years, Marian is an exception. People who suffer from kidney disease for more than 10 years, people who are suffering from severe heart condition, people who are suffering from hemorrhage of the peptic ulcer, people who are in the final stage of terminal cancer. If you are in early stage, it's possible, but when you're in your terminal stage, your life force is too weak. Minors who are not adult, who are too weak, people who are just simply too weak, who are pregnant, or if you're breastfeeding. Okay? So these are the people we do not advise you take this program.